Pretty easy to tell you, beginning backwards, that I'm the superintendent of schools. And how that really relates is we all understand the influence and the impact that a true mentorship can have. But really, in my story, you have to look back at the time where I really needed one. It's hard to project the influence one person can have, the power of one. When I was a young adolescent, maybe struggling a little bit to find myself, really find my goals, really have a role model that was going to be a positive one for me, considering that I came from a home where there were 2 high school dropouts as parents, an older brother that was a high school dropout. It only took the initiative and the willingness of one to step forward. And while I wouldn't have called him a mentor at the time, since that time, he was the one who really supported me in a number of ways, really held me accountable, but also then always was that platform of support. He was the encourager. He showed that I was important. And then he took me on a journey where I never really knew my goals or my dreams would ever come true because I didn't have any. So he brought an exposure through life experiences, field trips, and I never really entertained even attending college until he walked me down to the guidance office one day in high school as a junior, believe it or not, and said, he's not in the college prep track, and he needs to be. And so at the end of my high school experience, he literally put me in his own car and drove me down to a community called Kearney and said, you have a lot to offer yourself and a lot to others, don't come back. And so he stayed with me. Obviously, he's impacted my life. I've looked up to him, and he didn't have to be a miraculous person. He didn't have to have all this wisdom or knowledge. All he had to do was just have a willingness to care about someone and demonstrate it in such a way that he'd be engaged in my life. Then that impacts others. So now not only am I in education, but had I not had him in my life, what would be the lives of my 2 children? What would be the lives of my grandchildren? So you can't really repay that unless you really pay it back. And so with that individual, I'm eternally grateful, and the lives of many, just by the willingness and the power of one to make a difference in one person's life. And thank goodness he chose to make a difference in mine.